All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about my watch passion in a larger context, life context, being able to see my watch collecting in the right proportion. For those of you who know me, a lot of my videos have been about chronicling my obsession with watches, my search for the right balance in a collection, watches that I like. And for example, I'm wearing a military style Citizen watch called a ProMaster Land in black. I don't know if you can see it very well in this lighting. And I also want to let you guys know I've been obsessed with watches since 2005, and sometimes the addiction has got the best of me. And I think I've described to you guys before, there have been times when I've been in my room with my little journal, or I've been at a family event with my journal, and I've been almost on the verge of a nervous breakdown writing a list of my watch collection and how I might consolidate, sell this, buy that, wish list, get my collection down. I currently have 8 watches in my personal collection. When people give me gifts, and I do have a gift watch, a triangle Seiko, I don't count those because, you know, my collection has to be part of my own personal strategy and choices and configuration and stuff like that. So, but I'm here to tell you about how in the since October, November, December, 3.5 months, maybe even 4 months, I've had to really look at my watch passion in a larger context. I'm kind of surprised I'm still into watches. I still am. It's just different. It's changed now, and I want to explain some of this. So, my mother at the age of 78, you know, her kidney disease was getting the best of her, and she didn't want to get dialysis. I mean, that's horrible, you know, going for 5 hours a day, 4 days a week. The quality of life's horrible. But my mother passed October 1st. I went up to the San Francisco Bay Area during a pandemic, and I met my brother who lives up in the Bay Area. My little brother, he's little, he's 54, but in my mind, he's little. Because, like, he was the dude wearing the Bam Bam bathing suit at the Royal and I Apartments in San Jose in 1969. And he was just being a funny dude. And that's always who he is in my imagination. So my brother and I, we went up there. We had to say goodbye to my mother through a window because of COVID. We weren't allowed in the nursing home. And then I saw her, and she passed away 3 days later. So... wasn't even getting over grieving over the loss of my mom when my brother calls me on Thanksgiving. Goes, dude, I think I have a hernia. I went to our dad's for Thanksgiving, and wasn't that hungry. So he goes, like a couple days after Thanksgiving, goes to the doctor, and he says he's gonna have a little out surgery for a little hernia, a little lump in his stomach. And they say, dude, you got pancreatic cancer. And this thing is aggressive. This lump in your it's growing. He couldn't eat. And then they weren't sure what kind of cancer it was, but they thought it was pancreatic. And I thought I was going to lose my little brother. And middle of December, he finds out that he doesn't have pancreatic cancer. He has a rare cancer called Burkitt lymphoma. Super aggressive, super rare, yet treatable. I mean, according to the initial literature, 80% treatable. The doctor gave my brother 70% chance of recovery. And so my brother, man, he almost lost his life because the cancer, as it was breaking down from the chemo, it was overloading his kidneys with toxicity, and they had to put him on dialysis. But he made it through. He responded well, and he's living with my dad now. I got him out of his apartment in Albany near Berkeley. His business bought his brand new Toyota 4Runner, so he doesn't have to make payments. He pretty much has no bills. He's bonding with my dad. He's watching sports with my dad. I talk to him every day. He's binge watching shows with my dad, and his stepmom is being a nurse to him. She's taking him to Kaiser every day, and he gets chemo. Chemo's on a backpack. They had to cut a hole in his chest and make a gas valve so they could pump chemo into this valve. Are you serious? I mean, he's got a fighting spirit. My brother, he's very fierce, very ferocious dude. Small dude, but ferocious athlete. Soccer, baseball, football, wide receiver. He's built differently than I am. He's speedy, he's fast, he's ferocious, he's a good cook. He has a lot of qualities I don't have, but he has some qualities I do have. He's OCD like I am, and obsessive like I am in general. High-strung like I am. So we have some things in common. But right now his appetite is back, and I'm so happy. And I'm thinking about all these things. You know, a 54-year-old, an athlete, a young 54-year-old fighting for his life. And it's interesting, you know, anything that I'm doing now, whether it's watches or playing the piano or doing my kettlebells or shaving, all my little obsessions are making coffee. I mean, it's in a different context now. It's had to be. And of course, I'm grateful for having health, and I'm grateful for being able to talk to my brother. One thing I want to tell you, my brother is so good in spirits right now, and he has his appetite, and the chemo's working. I'll tell you what, man, when he was in the bad place from the liver toxicity, and he had no appetite, he was 159 pounds. I thought I was going to lose my brother, and it's so good to see his fighting spirit back. Now, his chemo, and I didn't know anything about this, the cycles of chemo that he'll be going through, 125 hours straight every 3 weeks for the next 5 months, ends around May. Then they do a CAT scan and see if the cancer's in remission or what. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that in May he'll be all right. Clearly, when you're dealing with family and health and life or death scenarios, it really forces you to look at your hobbies. I don't care how obsessed I get with watches. How high are the stakes of me getting this watch or that watch, or having my collection be 3 watches or 8 watches or 14 watches? The stakes aren't that high. You have to look at the stakes within a context. And it's funny, I'm talking about something serious today. You know, my brother fighting for his life. I'm actually kind of happy because he's doing well, especially relative to where he was around Christmas time and a little bit before Christmas, when he just and I know my brother, when his spirit is not ferocious, I'm worried about him, and that ferocity wasn't there, but it's back, and he's really having a great time bonding with my father and his stepmom. They live up in a place called Discovery Bay. It's like on the Delta, probably, I don't know, an hour from Stockton. I can't go up there. The nurses and the doctor said, "Your brother's in a bubble, buddy." I can't visit him. He's at high risk. He has too many preconditions. So it's interesting. I'm still interested in watches. I still like commiserating with fellow watch obsessives, addicts, fans. I don't know what word to use. I still like it. I have a couple of close friends here in Southern California who are not into watches, so we talk about other stuff. And I'm happy enough with my collection for now. I don't even know what my next move's going to be. I mean, obviously, more into the communications I have with my brother twice a day means more to me. And yet, I still watch Random Rob videos and Bruce William watch videos and some other watch videos. I'm still curious for what's cooking in the watch community. It's just in a different context. I've been forced to see that what I do with watches is not the same kind of stakes that you deal with when you're fighting for your good health and in life or death. Now, intellectually, of course, I always knew that. But you don't really live your life with any wisdom unless you live it with emotion. If the emotions aren't aligned with your intellect, then it's kind of a waste of time. So this crisis with my brother, and then I lost my mom in October, it's forced me to align my emotions with my intellect as I try to have the proportionate stakes for my little watch obsession. And the obsession's still kind of there. Just the heat has been turned down a bit, man. The heat has been turned down. Not as many jalapeno peppers in the salad, so to speak. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are the obsessions going on in your life? How's the context going? How are the high stakes? I don't want anyone to have a nervous breakdown. Until next time, I'm out.